This is the iPhone 14 Plus. We haven't actually had a Plus name for an iPhone ever since the iPhone 8 Plus from 2017. So let's take a look and see how it compares to the iPhone 14, the iPhone 14 Pro Max, and even the iPhone 13 Pro Max, and see if this is actually a good deal or if it is a scam. Taking a quick look at the box, as you can probably tell, it has a very similar design to the iPhone 14 and the 14 Pro box. That also means a color-matched iPhone branding and also a color-matched Apple logo. Okay, so let's open this baby up and see if there's any difference inside the box. Keep in mind, this is also the product red version. And wow, take a look at that red. It is incredibly vibrant. Here's a quick comparison against the red iPhone 12. You can see how much more vibrant the iPhone 14 Plus is. Okay, so let's remove this from the box. And since this is the product red model, we also get this product red card here, which states that a portion of the revenue that Apple makes from the sale of this iPhone will go towards fighting AIDS. Other than that, everything is the same as with the other iPhones, so the SIM eject tool, warranty and safety guide, and a single Apple sticker that is sadly not color matched. Okay, so now the first question that I want to answer is the iPhone 14 Plus worth it over the iPhone 14? What sort of upgrades do you get? Well, there's actually not that many upgrades. The cameras are exactly the same. We also have the same chip, the A15 with a 5-core GPU option. The notch is exactly the same as before. So really, the biggest difference is when it comes to the size. The display itself is 6.7 inches compared to 6.1. They do have the same brightness of 800 nits and then 1200 when you're watching HDR content. And I gotta say, despite its bigger size, the 14 Plus is actually very light and very comfortable to hold. Another difference would be the battery size, with the 14 Plus having a 4,323 mAh battery compared to 3,279, so that's a massive difference. Although in terms of the actual battery life, Apple only claims a 6-hour difference between the 14 and the 14 Plus when it comes to video playback at least. Now, I want to do a quick speaker test and see if this larger size of the 14 Plus also houses bigger and more powerful speakers.
Here we go. I see the light inside you, brighter than the skies. Hold on, just let us escape and fly away tonight.
So the 14 actually sounded louder, but the 14 Plus sounded a bit clearer. Let us know in the comments if you feel the same. But yeah, that's pretty much it when it comes to the differences. I would say probably the last one was, of course, the price, with the 14 Plus costing $100 more, so $899 compared to $799. So I guess that if you simply want a larger phone with a better battery life, paying $100 more over the 14 is a no-brainer. So let's see how it compares to the iPhone 14 Pro Max. Keep in mind that a 14 Pro Max costs $1,099 compared to $899. So should you pay $200 more to get the 14 Pro Max or not? Well, you do get a lot of upgrades. You get the 120Hz refresh rate panel compared to 60Hz on the 14 Plus, which I think for this price is really, really bad. You also get a much larger camera sensor, although in practical use, we haven't really seen a big difference between the two. Aside from that 48 megapixel Pro RAW mode, which is just incredible. The ultra-wide, even though on paper it is better on the 14 Pro Max, in practice, it was actually better on the 14. You do, however, have background mode on the 14 Pro Max, which is really, really nice to have, and also that 3x telephoto module, which is completely lacking from the 14 Plus. Not even to mention the always-on display on the 14 Pro Max, and the much higher brightness of 2000 nits compared to 800 outdoors, which does make a really big difference. Interesting enough, the battery size is actually the same between the two, but the weight difference between the two is actually quite significant, and that is because the 14 Pro Max has that stainless steel frame, which adds a lot of weight, so holding both in my hands and just using both, the 14 Plus does feel lighter. In fact, the 14 Plus has a similar weight to the smaller 14 Pro, which is quite impressive considering how much bigger the 14 Plus is. So even though the 14 Pro Max comes with a ton of extra features for $200 more, I think for most people, I don't think these extra features are really worth it. So I think for most people, the 14 Plus is overall a better choice. But could it be that for this $899 price point, the 14 Plus is actually a scam? And in fact, if you look in some other places, you might find some better deals for the iPhone 13 Pro Max. In fact, you can actually find the 13 Pro Max refurbished for about $879. That is $20 less compared to the 14 Plus. Now, both of these phones have the exact same chip, the A15 with 5 GPU cores. However, the 13 Pro Max has a much better display. It is 120Hz compared to 60. It can also go brighter, 1200 nits outdoors compared to 800. Although, interesting enough, the 14 Plus does have slightly thinner bezels than the 13 Pro Max. Now, when it comes to the cameras, the main camera is exactly the same. The telephoto module is entirely missing from the 14 Plus. And then on the 14 Plus, you also lack the upgraded ultra-wide that the 13 Pro Max has. That's the one that allows for that macro mode. Now, a lot of the reviews have been praising the 14 Plus because of its overall quality and the great battery life. But personally, I simply believe that getting a 13 Pro Max is a much better choice, especially if you can find it for a really low price. So to finally answer the question, is the iPhone 14 Plus a scam? Well, it depends. If you're completely unaware that the iPhone 13 Pro Max exists, in that case, I think 100% yes. It is a scam, you're getting scammed, as you can get a 13 Pro Max for a very close price, and that one has way more features. However, I do believe that a lot of people are actually aware of the fact that this is not that great of a deal. I don't know if you've seen some articles on the fact that the 14 Plus has sold worse than the iPhone 13 mini did. Now, I do believe that this is also attributed to the fact that the 14 Plus launched way later, almost a month after the other 14s. But I also think that this does indeed paint a picture of how uninteresting the iPhone 14 Plus really is. And the thing is, if you already have an iPhone 13 Pro Max, a 12 Pro Max, or even an 11 Pro Max, I would say there's little reason to upgrade to this. However, when it comes to the general public, the people who just walk into an Apple store and they ask to get the cheapest, largest iPhone, I think for those people, this iPhone would be a very good choice. You get a large and beautiful display, great cameras, a great battery life. So yeah, if you don't mind the cost and you're not aware of what other alternatives you have, I think that this is a really good choice. But let me know, what do you guys think when it comes to the iPhone 14 Plus? And also make sure to check out our recent camera comparisons between the 14 Pro, the S22 Ultra, the Pixel 6 Pro, and we also just got the Pixel 7 Pro, so we'll be doing some more camera comparisons against the iPhone 14 Pro as well, so do stay tuned for that. And of course, this iPhone concludes the September Apple events. Now we got all the products from that event, which means that the October event and the October products are just around the corner, so if you want to see everything to expect, check out this video right here. I'm Daniel, this is ZONEofTECH, and I'll see you guys in the next one. ZONEofTECH, signing out. Cheers.